Can I please get Rumbunctious to the announcer table? Rumbunctious to the announcer table.
And our fifth game is already underway with our lead jammer for Santa Cruz calling that jam off. So welcome, folks, to our fifth game of the day of this first day of the Cactus Cup tournament. We have our Arizona B team versus our Santa Cruz B team, currently with a 0-0 point score. Our jammer for Santa Cruz is out with that lead jammer position, having already scored some points, but our Arizona jammer, number 420, making it out as well. Got Bad Sheila picking up that lead jammer status for Santa Cruz. And it looks like we do have a star pass to the Arizona pivot. Bad Sheila still being held in the back on another attempt at a scoring pass, but the Arizona defense is holding strong. Still no movement in the back of that pack there, though it looks like an offensive skater is coming in to maybe offer some assistance to Bad Sheila. Those Santa Cruz blockers getting called out of play in the back, so we are seeing maybe some movement, though currently both of the jammers being held back by strong tripods, strong defensive plays from both teams here, Arizona and Santa Cruz. Bad Sheila still in that lead jammer position, but unable so far to make it through the Arizona tripod in the front. That was a lot of struggle and a lot of fight during that very long jam and long jam's journey into night. That jam is finally ended. Did have 3 points picked up for Santa Cruz during that jam. So Santa Cruz is now on the board with 7 points, whereas the Arizona B team currently has no points on the board. Zero Fox able to find a clear opening and make it out lead jammer for Arizona. We have number 418 TKO for Santa Cruz, also out of the pack and coming on, putting some pressure on the Arizona jammer, who is forced to call that jam off. Helga Hufflepunk going out there to jam for Arizona with Flower Power for Santa Cruz. Flower Power able to make it around the blockers and make it out lead jammer for Santa Cruz, but Helga Hufflepunk is hot on the trail. Santa Cruz jammer calling that jam off, hopefully without allowing the Helga Hufflepunk to pick up any points there, and it looks like, yes, Santa Cruz did pick up 1 point in that jam. So we've got 8 points for Santa Cruz with still 0 points for Arizona. We've got Frida jamming for Arizona with Knox for Santa Cruz. Frida up in the front with only 1 blocker left to struggle past, able to pick up that lead jammer status for Arizona. Knox getting taken out by a hard hit in the front and being held back by some of those Arizona blockers, but finally able to get past them. And Arizona calling off the jam. Got 3 points on the board for Arizona during that jam, none for Santa Cruz. Current score of 3 for Arizona and 8 for Santa Cruz. Zero Fox jamming again for Arizona with Bad Sheila, jamming once again for Santa Cruz. And Zero Fox finds an opening on the inside, makes it out, but Bad Sheila is not far behind, chasing her down. Zero Fox hitting that pack, trying to get some hips around and calling the jam off. It would appear that we have no points for either team during that jam. We've got Arizona picking up lead jammer status. That is going to be number 1547, Sassy Mean Claudie. Looks like there was a star stash by Santa Cruz and then a return of the star to the helmet. So with that Santa Cruz jammer coming up and putting on pressure, the Arizona jammer did decide to call that off. 1 point in that jam for Arizona, 0 for Santa Cruz. Helga Hufflepunk out there jamming for Arizona with Flower Power for Santa Cruz. Flower Power fighting with the tripod in the front, getting some offensive assistance and able to jump past number 420 and picking up lead jammer status for Santa Cruz. Helga Hufflepunk not far behind. Flower Power in scoring position for Santa Cruz. Able to make it past those final blockers and call the jam off. Helga Hufflepunk may have been able to sneak past a couple of blockers in the back, though. We will see what scores we get from the refs. Looks like, yes, 1 point for Arizona in that jam. And I believe some points for Santa Cruz, waiting to see that reported. With a cheer from the crowd insisting on seeing their points on the board, we do get 4 points for Santa Cruz during that jam. So we have 5 for Arizona, 12 for Santa Cruz. Frida coming to the line for Arizona and Bad Sheila for Santa Cruz. Bad Sheila making it to the front of the pack with only 1 defender remaining, is able to push past and is out lead jammer for Santa Cruz. Looks like we had a star stash from Frida, returning that star to the helmet, and Frida is now in scoring position for Arizona as well. Bad Sheila goes ahead and calls that jam off, though. Says, you know what, I don't think I actually do want to give you any points. And that's the end of that jam. 4 points in that jam for Santa Cruz. 16 Santa Cruz, 5 Arizona. Zero Fox for Arizona with TKO for Santa Cruz. TKO able to juke past those blockers in the front. TKO is out lead jammer for Santa Cruz. Zero Fox getting jukey on the inner line there. Zero Fox is also out for Arizona. TKO struggling with a couple more Arizona blockers in the front there. And calls that jam off as Zero Fox is getting into scoring position. 3 points on the board for Santa Cruz during that jam, unanswered by Arizona. 19 Santa Cruz, 5 Arizona.
All right, and during this official timeout, we do want to take a moment to recognize our skating and non-skating officials for this game, our Arizona B team versus our Santa Cruz B team. We've got Nacho, Denominator, Captain Left Hook, Killa Key, Scary Bee Jesus, Margie Ram, Professor Harm, Fickle Bitch, Woody Hurlson, Catastrophe, Whistle, Thunder Down Under, Elder Horman, Sugar and Spikes, Scarlet Stitch, Smacky Kennedy, Jackknife Dolly, and Slayer Moon.
Want to give a shout out also to all of our volunteers. I see some folks out on the track right now making sure we've got tape down in the right places. Nothing sticking out, going to get caught on anybody's wheels. All of our indicators in order, so thank you guys for your work.
Much love to Phoenix and Catastrophic, track technicians for us this game. Thank you so much. All right, looks like we are at the end of that official timeout. And just like that, Flower Power is your lead jammer for Santa Cruz. Sassy Mean Claudine jamming for Arizona, and really not getting any purchase. Arizona at a pack disadvantage with only 2 blockers on the track currently.
And with some fancy footwork, Sassy Mean is able to make it out of that pack. We do have our lead jammer, Flower Power, calling off that jam.
Those were really quick laps that Flower Power was able to execute.
Eight points on the board for Santa Cruz during that jam, bringing Santa Cruz total to 27, and Arizona's still with 5 points.
Santa Cruz is ranked 15th in the WIFTDA leagues, so 15th out of 350. Arizona is ranked 19th. And again, that's for the league, that's not just the B teams. So hopefully we'll see this game tighten up a little bit. We have Bad Sheila versus Helga Hufflepunk right now. Bad Sheila is your lead jammer for Santa Cruz. I do kind of hope that she is also Australian, because that is a slang term for a lady in Australia, is a Sheila, but I might be hoping too much.
And Helga Hufflepunk able to make it through on the inside there after stashing the jammer star, putting that star back on, becoming an active, threatening jammer, to which the lead jammer from Santa Cruz responds by calling off the jam. Frida lining up on the jammer line for Arizona, and Knox for Santa Cruz. Both jammers struggling, and as I say that though, Knox from Santa Cruz able to make it past those last couple of blockers from Arizona, picking up lead jammer status for Santa Cruz. Frida being hit into the infield by the Santa Cruz blockers, now playing a little bit of jammer defense to hold the Santa Cruz jammer in check. We see Frida finally making it out on the outside line, returning that star to the helmet to become an active jammer, with Knox calling the jam off.
Jammers starting at the jammer line. Pack starting up at the pivot line. We've got Zero Fox going up against TKO. Zero Fox able to get lead jammer at turn 1.
TKO fighting at the front of that pack there, and with a little jump at the end, able to get past those final blockers and returning the start of the helmet. We're seeing a lot of star passes in this first half of this game against the Arizona B team and the Santa Cruz B team. Lots of star passes to spring the team's jammer loose and make them be a threat to the other jammer and force the call off.
It does seem to lend a real sense of urgency. Like, the star is being passed, I need to do something now. I need to either get out or stop them or call it off. It makes for a lot shorter jams.
We've got Flower Power for Santa Cruz making it out lead jam, but Sassy Mean is right behind, putting the pressure on Flower Power to either pick up some points or potentially have to call that jam off. And we do see a fast pack in response to this situation.
Arizona really trying to make sure that they are not a point by getting into the front of the pack there. We saw this happen earlier in some other games that Arizona played too. This is definitely a league best practice, where if you are, if your jammers are neck and neck like that, get your point out of the way.
We saw that be pretty successful there as well. Only 1 point picked up by Santa Cruz.
Yeah, just one blocker fell behind, and honestly, with the way this game is going, for Arizona to hold Santa Cruz to 1 point or scoreless is really a win for Arizona, for sure.
Absolutely.
A little bit of a mixed up fun pack there at the pivot line.
Seeing Helga Hufflepunk for Arizona and Bad Sheila for Santa Cruz.
Helga Hufflepunk really looking for that one lane
and
so she can get lead jam.
She is out lead jammer for Arizona, and we see Bad Sheila struggling past those last couple of blockers who are recycling around her, keeping her in the pack until the last second and having to let her go. Helga Hufflepunk already back around and in position for a scoring pass.
Hufflepunk doing a great job of seeing where that jammer is, getting her 4 points and calling it off. In case you didn't hear that in the stream, that was 4 points to Hufflepunk.
I imagine that's a reference to the Harry Potter 4 points for Hufflepuff. That's
her
adorable. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, her house points frequently get totaled by the Arizona fans in the audience.
I love that. Fun fact, me and Helga Hufflepunk went to high school together and started our roller derby journeys at the same time.
Oh, that's awesome.
She started flat, I started banked. It's super fun.
Such a small world.
Small world. We have Frida jamming for Arizona with TKO for Santa Cruz at the front of the pack and able to make it past the last blockers and is out lead jammer status.
TKO, now on our roster it says TKO, but on her jersey it says something else, like Duck Duck Goose. I'm gonna have to see when she comes around what her name is on
what does that mean?
On her jersey.
TKO, speaking of being held back by a strong tripod built by Arizona in the front. I'm not seeing a star for Arizona. I'm wondering if there's been a star stash or a star pass. Looks like there's been a star pass for Arizona, but the Arizona jammer not able to make it past the Santa Cruz blockers just yet, with TKO coming around for another scoring pass.
I believe TKO's other alter ego might be Duck Duck Moose, maybe a nod to some Canadian ancestry. And
finally, we have our Arizona, looks like there has been that star pass. Now we have Chelsea, I couldn't quite see, Chelsea somebody.
Yeah, Chelsea Winkle, who is also Goldie Loke, getting the jammer star after wearing the pivot stripe just from the beginning of the jam. Getting that jam called off with 8 points in favor of Santa Cruz.
Got just over 10 minutes left in this period. Arizona's B team with 11 points, Santa Cruz B team with 42 points. Zero Fox jamming for Arizona and Flower Power for Santa Cruz. Ooh, Zero Zero Fox taken down by a hard hit there and being sent all the way to the back. Flower Power also being recycled farther to the back. We do have a blocker from Arizona being sent to the box with Santa Cruz advantage. Santa Cruz also picking up lead jam, so Flower Power is now in a lead jammer status, coming around for some more points. Flower Power trying to get hips around those final blockers and simultaneously calling the jam off. It looks like that was a scoreless jam. No points actually picked up by either team there. Trying to get those hips around in the last second, and sometimes doesn't quite pan out. But you always got to try. You always got to try.
That's right. You definitely always have to try. And it's interesting, I've seen more jams start up at the pivot line than I'm used to seeing. And
yeah, we're seeing that a lot in this game.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're trying to give their jammers, you know, a bit of a running start there
that
before they
sense.
hit the pack. Now, I'm not seeing a corresponding number of, you know, back block penalties or other penalties from that. So it seems to be a pretty safe maneuver for both teams.
Bad Sheila is out lead jammer for Santa Cruz.
Not quite sure who she's going to recycle behind. It looks like going to go behind all of the Arizona blockers and maybe one of her own blockers as well.
Sometimes it's better just to be safe.
Just sometimes, especially in this game where we're being really precise and really fast.
Yeah, you don't want to get that cut track penalty if you can avoid it.
A penalty right now I think would be really detrimental to Santa Cruz.
Bad Sheila still being held by those final two Arizona blockers in the front. The pack suddenly surging forward.
Sassy,
we do have a star pass.
Sassy Mean Claudine really trying to outrun those Santa Cruz blockers. Two of them kept up with her almost until the very end there.
And pardon me, we did not actually have a star pass. We had a star stash with
yeah.
Sassy being actually able to get out.
You know, it did force that call off with only 3 points being sent to Santa Cruz.
Absolutely,
so
successful maneuver there by Arizona.
Exactly. I mean, it's going to take more than a star stash to get Arizona's momentum to turn around, but if we can stop the bleeding a little bit, that'll work too.
Absolutely. So 3 points for Santa Cruz in that jam, 45 points on the board for Santa Cruz. Arizona currently at 11. Helga Hufflepunk jamming for Arizona with Knox for Santa Cruz. Knox able to make it past those blockers in the front, picking up lead status for Santa Cruz.
Jammers seem to be getting out very quickly, you know, by turn 2 at the latest. We're not seeing a lot of what we saw in the last game, which was just, you know, people stuck in tripods for days, it seemed like. Oh my gosh, Knox able to sneak through on the outside of the straightaway, almost untouched for those 4 points.
Absolutely, we're seeing a lot of Santa Cruz getting out very quickly. We are seeing Arizona get out very quickly behind, but really, as we've talked about in the last game, if you start chipping away at those 4 points, 4 points, 4 points, that can stack up pretty quickly.
That's right, that's right.
So to see some of this momentum turn around, we're going to have to see Arizona picking up more lead jammer statuses here.
Yeah, Arizona definitely is doing a good job of staying out of the penalty box, knock on wood, but yeah, we're not getting those lead jammers awarded to our team. Frida on the line for Arizona and TKO for Santa Cruz. TKO at the front of the pack with 2-3 to beat. Really jukey and able to get her hips around Chelsea Winkle, the last blocker on record there.
And that's no easy feat. Those blockers were recycling and moving and going where they needed to go. TKO coming in, taking a look at the pack, trying to determine where would be best to get those points. Being taken back by some of the Arizona blockers. And forced to call that jam off rather than surrender any points to Arizona.
It looks like that was the strategy that Arizona was going for. I saw Chelsea Winkle nod her head like, yep, gotta call it. We gotta start over again. Only 1 point for Santa Cruz on that round. All right, we've got Zero Fox going up against Flower Power, and Flower Power lead jammer for Arizona. Flower Power, I'm just gonna go out on a limb, and maybe Derby Twitter can correct me. Flower Power looks like maybe she used to skate in the juniors and is now skating in the adult section of Derby. Zero Fox really trying to bounce around, ping-ponging between the blockers there.
Oh, and that juking pays off. She is finally able to make it past. Those blockers were recycling hard, but she was able to get by.
And just as Zero Fox is hitting the back of the pack, Flower Power does call it off, keeping Arizona scoreless and getting 4 points for Santa Cruz. And skating fans, the game right after this one is the A teams from both of these leagues. So we're gonna have our Arizona, hang on, I lied. This is the A team. We're gonna have the B teams from Arizona going, no, I'm reading it wrong. Sorry, I'm looking at Sunday. We're gonna have the A team from Arizona versus the A team from Santa Cruz. So almost a rematch, but not quite. We have Sassy Mean Claudine getting recycled back to the straightaway for Arizona. Fighting through the front of the pack is Bad Sheila from Santa Cruz. Rocky Bonobo and P-Slam just have the Santa Cruz jammer Bad Sheila on lockdown. Finally able to get out, and she is your lead jammer. Sassy Mean Claudine trying to push that inverted blocker formation in front of her.
Seeing some offense come in to help the Santa Cruz jammer, but so far to no avail. The Arizona defenders are remaining strong in that tripod structure in the front, keeping that jammer, and now bringing the jammer a little ways back.
A little bit of backwards derby as a couple of jammers are recycled back a little bit. Sassy Mean Claudine able to break away. Oh!
Able to get by those blockers, but tripped up at the last second. And as we all expect from derby skaters, right back up real quick. And that's the end of that jam.
A lot of skates, a lot of wheels in the way a little bit there.
They do tend to get in the way.
Oh my gosh, so much. Only 3 points in that jam. Only 3 points after all that work in favor of Santa Cruz. If you're watching us on stream, we have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this first half. Santa Cruz B team on the board with 57. Arizona B team on the board with 11.
Helga Hufflepunk jamming for Arizona. TKO for Santa Cruz, making it out of the pack and achieving lead jammer status. Punk able to take advantage of an open lane and is also out of the pack, chasing down TKO. TKO now in scoring position.
Nice shirt whip on the outside by TKO on, I believe that was number 5678, Bully Elliott.
TKO taken down by a block at the end there and having to quickly call that gem off since Helga Hufflepunk was coming in quickly to steal some points from Arizona. As it stands, Santa Cruz picking up 2 points for a total of 59, Arizona at 11.
Incredibly low scoring half. The fact that we're not even to 60 points on the Santa Cruz side, and they have been dominating fairly well in this game, but dominating to the tune of 2 points here, 4 points there, maybe an 8-point jam. Looks like we have some of our other friends getting geared up for our next game. Knox, lead jammer for Santa Cruz. Frida, about half a track behind for Arizona. Santa Cruz hearing that her coach or her bench is saying to call it and saying, oh, I got it, calling it. 0-0 jam. All right, and on the track, Zero Fox jamming for Arizona, Santa Cruz jamming for, Flower Power jamming for Santa Cruz, and Zero Fox, your lead jammer.
Finally, we've got a lead jammer for Arizona. So let's see if Arizona can capitalize on this, make up some of this points differential here. Zero Fox fighting that Santa Cruz tripod in the back. Santa Cruz holding strong, but Zero Fox jukey as anything. Being taken to the inside. We do have Flower Power fighting with those final two blockers from Arizona in the front of the pack.
Corona Slamher and Rocky Bonobo at the front of the pack, really just doing their best to hold back Flower Power. Rocky Bonobo getting that multiplayer penalty. Looks like Ammunition also headed to the box.
We do have a Santa Cruz advantage on the track now with two Arizona blockers sitting for penalties.
Zero Fox smartly calling it off before Flower Power has any chance to get any points. With 4-0 jam in favor of Arizona, that brings us into halftime with a score of 61 for the Santa Cruz B team and 15 for the Arizona B team. We will see you in about 15 minutes.
All right, folks, we got about 5 seconds of halftime left. We've got our B team game starting up again between Arizona and Santa Cruz. We've got our jammers coming to the line, our blockers coming to the blocker box. We are getting ready to go here. Start out the second half, we've got Helga Hufflepunk jamming for Arizona and Flower Power for Santa Cruz already making it out and achieving that lead jammer status. Flower Power being a very fast jammer, coming around already and able to make it through on a scoring pass. Helga Hufflepunk is also out now, and so Flower Power decides to call that jam off rather than surrender any points to Arizona. Just waiting for those points to get on the board there. Looks like we've got a timeout. Got our officials discussing some of the goings-on of that previous jam. So if you're like me and you need to wake up with coffee in the morning and you're coming to our tournament tomorrow, make sure you get here between the hours of 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. to take advantage of the coffee from Traveling Coffee Bean Company. They're going to have coffee and smoothies. They would like to let you know that we're a pop-up coffee shop offering a local alternative for coffee and tea drinkers. So make sure you're here tomorrow morning between 9 and 11 if you want to pick up your coffee. Don't be like me and get here late and not get a chance to get any coffee, because that's bad. That makes us sad. Seems that the officials have begun to sort out their discussion, and we are getting ready for our next jam to get underway. Looks like our jammer TKO for Santa Cruz has managed to pick up that lead jammer status, with Frida being sent to the penalty box. Picking up a penalty there. TKO now fighting with the Arizona defense in the front. Arizona able to build a 4-blocker structure in the front there, holding TKO back behind some inverted blockers, but TKO is pushing hard with only 1 blocker left to contend with. TKO is through and ready for another scoring pass. We do, though, have 2 Santa Cruz blockers being sent to the box, giving Arizona an advantage at keeping TKO held back and hopefully not scoring as many points there, but TKO is fighting those Arizona blockers. And Frida is back out on the track. Frida is able to get through the pack and look at a scoring pass. TKO makes it past the hips of those blockers and calls the gem off, hopefully preventing Frida from getting points there. We will see what points get on the board. It looks like we have 8 points for Santa Cruz in that jam. And Arizona was able to pick up some points. We had 4 points for Arizona, bringing Arizona's B team to 19 points and Santa Cruz to 73. Got Zero Fox jamming for Arizona and Bad Sheila in the front of the pack for Santa Cruz. Bad Sheila going one-on-one against several of those Arizona blockers before finally able to twist around and make it past and achieve lead jammer status for Santa Cruz. Zero Fox now contending with only one blocker left in the front. And finally able to make it by. Zero Fox is also out of the pack now and in a scoring position. Bad Sheila makes it past on that scoring pass, calls the jam off before Zero Fox can approach. 4-point jam for Santa Cruz, 0 points for Arizona. It's gonna put Santa Cruz at 77, Arizona at 17. Now that I've learned about the palindrome thing, now I know that that's, I mean, if you squint, it looks like a palindrome, so you should go buy a beer or a soda or a beverage of your choice. Also, 1777, great year. I don't know, I have no idea. I wasn't there. Flower Power jamming for Santa Cruz and Sassy Mean for Arizona. Flower Power thinking there was an open lane there on the inside, but that lane being closed off by the Arizona blockers. And Sassy Mean making it to the front of the pack, but unfortunately looks like, oh no, never mind. Sassy Mean has that lead jammer status and is coming around in scoring position for Arizona, with Flower Power also out of the pack, forcing the call off on Sassy Mean. So Sassy Mean calling that jam off, and that is the end of that jam. We will see, it looks like no points scored in that jam. Helga Hufflepunk for Arizona, and TKO making it out lead jammer for Santa Cruz. TKO now in a scoring position with Helga Hufflepunk having been recycled to the back and is now pushing through those Santa Cruz blockers as best she can. TKO trying to get past the Arizona 3-wall that is in front of her. Blocker goes down and TKO able to take advantage and make it by on a scoring pass, waiting for direction from her bench before calling that jam off. Frida jamming now for Arizona with Knox for Santa Cruz, finding an opening on the inside and picking up lead jam for Santa Cruz. Frida also able to make it out of the pack now, not far behind Knox. Knox coming in for a scoring attempt with Arizona trying not to be a point. Bringing TKO off of the track as TKO calls that jam off. Arizona jammer trying to sneak in and get some points there, but we will see. Does appear to be no points scored in that jam. So we are currently at Arizona B team has 17 points on the board. Santa Cruz B team has 81. Zero Fox jamming for Arizona with Bad Sheila for Santa Cruz. Bad Sheila in the front of the pack, pushing against the last couple of Arizona blockers, and Bad Sheila lead jammer for Santa Cruz. Bad Sheila coming in with some momentum and able to use it to her advantage and get past those last Arizona blockers for another scoring pass. Zero Fox still struggling with a couple of the Santa Cruz blockers that keep building that strong defensive structure. Bad Sheila able to make it through on another scoring pass. We do have an Arizona blocker heading to the penalty box, so a slight Santa Cruz advantage on the track now. Bad Sheila held back in those last seconds by the Arizona blockers and calling that jam off for a successful 10-point jam by Santa Cruz. And unanswered by Arizona. 17 Arizona, 91 Santa Cruz. TKO jamming for Santa Cruz and Sassy Mean for Arizona. TKO pushing through those final blockers. TKO, your lead jammer for Santa Cruz. It would appear there has been a star pass to the Arizona pivot. Captain Jack now out in a scoring position for Arizona as well. TKO struggling with those final Arizona blockers in the front. Those blockers go out of play. TKO able to snag those points and call the jam off. Even so, Captain Jack is able to sneak by and pick up 4 points. So that was a 4-4 jam. 4 points for Arizona, 4 points for Santa Cruz in that jam. Do have a timeout called by Santa Cruz. So everybody taking a moment to catch their breath. If you've been sitting watching this tournament all day long and have neglected to stretch or, you know, take a moment to do some deep breathing and mindfulness, make sure you do that. Self-care is important. Got our jammers and blockers coming back to the line. Getting ready to go with our timeout being over now. Helga Hufflepunk jamming for Arizona and Bad Sheila for Santa Cruz. Helga Hufflepunk able to find us an opening, now struggling with one blocker, makes it pass and picks up that lead jammer status for Arizona. And Bad Sheila still being held by the Arizona defense, being held strongly in the front and being taken quite a ways back. Helga Hufflepunk able to make a pass again for another scoring pass for Arizona. Finally, Bad Sheila, with the assistance of a blocker, able to make it out on a scoring pass of her own. Helga Hufflepunk, assisted by her teammates, able to make it by and pick up some more points for Arizona. Excellent jam played by Arizona there. We were able to pick up at least 4 points there for Arizona and no points for Santa Cruz in that jam, bringing Arizona to 25 and Santa Cruz, oh, I stand corrected. Santa Cruz was actually able to pick up 3 points. Arizona is at 25 with Santa Cruz at 98. Frida for Arizona and Flower Power for Santa Cruz in this jam. Flower Power being taken hard to the outside. Frida struggling in the front, only one blocker left to deal with some fantastic footwork, able to make it out. Another lead jammer status for Arizona, leaving the audience wondering if this is the turn of the tide. Here we have Flower Power also making it out of the pack. Frida able to make it by. And Flower Power knocked to the outside by one of the Arizona blockers there. Frida coming up on another scoring pass and being held by a strong defensive structure by Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz at a slight advantage here because Arizona has one blocker in the box. Frida hit to the infield and having to recycle back while Flower Power does make it out and sets eyes on another scoring pass. Frida with excellent timing calls that jam off. Pretty successful jam here for Arizona. Arizona picking up 8 points in that jam, bringing their total to 36, with Santa Cruz only picking up 4 and bringing them to 99 points. We are in the second half of this B-level game with only 18 minutes remaining. Zero Fox jamming for Arizona and Knox for Santa Cruz. Knox able to take that inside line, just tiptoeing, dancing on through there very nimbly. Knox is your lead jammer for Santa Cruz. Zero Fox being held by some strong defensive hits delivered by Santa Cruz there. Knox getting some assistance from an offensive blocker from her team, but taken back by the Arizona blockers. Zero Fox not getting much purchase here. Recycled to the back repeatedly, finally stashing the star, seeing if she can get out, and she is able to make it past even that final blocker of Santa Cruz. Zero Fox is now also out and in a potential scoring position. Knox goes ahead and calls that jam off. Four points for Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz 103, Arizona 36. Looks like we're having an official review being called. I believe that's by Arizona. So we are having an official review, so our officials will meet to discuss the call, see whether we'll uphold that call or overturn that call. Want to give a shout out again to all of our officials who are making this tournament possible. We could not play roller derby without our officials. Their skating and their minds and their attention to detail and their multitasking are really something that we never take for granted. We're very happy to have all of you here. Thank you so much for all of your time and your dedication. If you're concerned that this won't be enough roller derby for you, make sure that next week, Saturday, April 20th, you check out the Arizona Derby Dames, the Banked Track League in Arizona, having their playoffs on that night, Saturday, April 20th. You can get more information at arizonaderbydames.com. If you've never seen a banked track game, you should definitely go. We've got another game coming up on May 11th with Arizona Roller Derby. Saturday, May 11th, the first game will be the Skate Riot Project versus Midnight Storm, followed by the Valley Rollers versus Casa Grande. So make sure you're coming on down to see the Arizona Roller Derby game coming up on Saturday, May 11th.
Looks like Black was calling official review on a back block on the white jammer, or from the white jammer. They did not find that that was an observable call to be made, and so therefore Black loses their official review.
So after that official review, we are back in action. We've got TKO jamming for Santa Cruz with Sassy Mean jamming for Arizona. Both jammers quite close to the front of the pack. TKO just barely able to squeak by and achieve that lead jammer status just before Sassy Mean also makes it out of the pack. Sassy Mean chasing TKO down. TKO trying to get at least 1 or 2 points there. Her own blockers in the back, so bit of a risky maneuver with the other jammer coming on so quickly, but jammers have that eye for attention to detail. We'll see if anybody was able to pick up any points in that jam. So far, it looks like that was a 0-point jam on either side. Helga Hufflepunk for Arizona and Flower Power for Santa Cruz on the line. Helga Hufflepunk pushing towards the front of the pack, and Flower Power looking like she was about to escape, but being taken back by the Arizona blockers. Helga Hufflepunk now in the front of the pack, working against the Santa Cruz tripod. And once again, Flower Power looking like she was ready to get shaken loose of that pack, and Arizona just recycling around her and building that defensive structure. Both jammers really stuck behind some strong tripods here. Both jammers just neck and neck, and Helga Hufflepunk just barely able to make it out and get that lead jammer status for Arizona. Arizona with the lead jam. Flower Power getting taken back once again. And Helga Hufflepunk able to take advantage of an open lane, makes it by on a scoring pass for Arizona. Flower Power still not out of that pack. At this point, Flower Power has taken the star off, still trying to get by some of those Arizona blockers. Helga Hufflepunk being held in the back by the Santa Cruz tripod, and unfortunately picking up a penalty for Arizona. So we do now have a power jam in favor of Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz setting up a defensive structure in the back, waiting for the Arizona jammer to be sprung loose from the penalty box. Flower Power struggling with the 2 remaining Arizona blockers in the front, now going one-on-one with an Arizona blocker. Unable to make much headway in this situation. Arizona blocker really holding strong there. And Flower Power able to make it past, while Helga Hufflepunk gets sprung from the box and picking up more points for Arizona. And that jam wraps up. Quite an exciting jam there. We had some penalties, we had some power jams. It was good. It was a fun time. Arizona able to pick up 8 points in that jam. No points for Santa Cruz. Arizona with 44 points and Santa Cruz with 103 points. Santa Cruz making it past those 100 points. Frida on the line for Arizona and Bad Sheila for Santa Cruz. And in that moment where we weren't sure who was going to make lead jammer, Frida comes out victorious with lead jammer status, while Bad Sheila is actually able to make it past her, putting her in a scoring position, and Frida with that lead jammer ability calling that jam off. Zero point jam. Just under 13 minutes left in this Arizona Santa Cruz B-level game. We do have the Arizona A team going against the Santa Cruz A team after this bout for a sanctioned game, so make sure you stick around for that. Zero Fox jamming for Arizona now with Knox for Santa Cruz. Knox being recycled quite far to the back here. Zero Fox struggling in the front with the two Santa Cruz blockers having to get back behind them and onto their position. Zero Fox now struggling with only one blocker and is able to make it past and finally achieve that lead jammer position. We're seeing Arizona pick up a lot more lead jammer positions here in the second half of this game. Both jammers working against strong defensive structures. Zero Fox finding an open lane on the inside, and it appears we have a star pass for Santa Cruz, or rather a star stash, and then a return of the star cover to the helmet. And that's the end of that jam. 4 points for Arizona in that jam, bringing Arizona to 48, Santa Cruz at 103. Getting set up and ready to go for our next jam. About 11 minutes remaining in this game. See Sassy Mean on the line for Arizona and TKO for Santa Cruz. We've seen some successful jamming from both of these jammers in this game tonight. Both of them pushing hard at the front of the pack. Sassy Mean almost able to make it, just barely able, making it past those blockers. We do have TKO in lead jammer status. TKO taken out hard in the last moments there by an Arizona blocker, calling that jam off rather than surrender any points.
Arizona's defense really has picked up this last few jams. I think Santa Cruz has been scoreless for the last 4 or 5 at least now.
It's really fantastic when you see a team start to kind of evolve their strategy based on who they're skating with. That learning process going on the whole time, absolutely. Both jammers emerging in a similar time frame. It looks like Helga Hufflepunk is the lead jammer for Arizona, with Flower Power right behind her for Santa Cruz. Helga Hufflepunk getting recycled by the Santa Cruz defenders. Flower Power able to make it past Arizona's blockers. Lots of hard hits going on in those final moments there. 4-4 jam. We had 4 points for Arizona, bringing Arizona to 52, and 4 points for Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz at 107.
Frida jamming for Arizona, Bad Sheila for Santa Cruz. Frida takes the inside line. She's your lead jammer.
Amazing jump there, just right over the other blocker's feet. Frida able to pick up the lead jammer status. Really are seeing a turnaround in the second half here. Bad Sheila now out of the pack as well. Frida's made it through on that scoring pass and calls the jam off.
I believe that leaves Santa Cruz scoreless at 107 for that jam. Arizona's now up to 56.
4 points in that jam for Arizona.
Zero Fox jamming for Arizona, Knox for Santa Cruz.
Zero Fox pushing to the front of the pack there, able to make it by those Santa Cruz blockers.
Looks like a power jam situation. Santa Cruz jammer in the box.
Zero Fox taking some hard hits from the Santa Cruz defense, but getting back on her skates, ready to keep jamming. Receiving an offensive hit from a fellow blocker. And able to make it out of the pack. We do have everyone out of the penalty box now for a full gamut on the track. Zero Fox taken down to the track rather hard there at the end of the jam. Calling that jam off. Still pretty successful jam for Arizona. We have 6 points for Arizona, bringing Arizona to 62. Santa Cruz at 107.
Looks like the Santa Cruz jammer was sent to the box for a back block on that last jam. So Arizona will start in a power jam situation.
So we got just under 7 minutes left in this game. So really all Arizona needs to do in this jam is pick up about, 40 points. I say go for it. Stranger things have happened.
Right. Nothing to lose at this point, except closing the gap. End of timeout. Sassy Mean Claudine on the jammer line for Arizona. Going unopposed with the Santa Cruz jammer in the box.
Sassy Mean doing the honors, skating the power jam for Arizona. About to go and pick up those 40 points. Sassy Mean trying to take advantage of an inside line there. Unfortunately, being called for a penalty here. And also being sent to the box, our jammer for Santa Cruz, Knox, now sprung loose from the penalty box.
She powers her way through and gains lead jammer.
Knox now your lead jammer for Santa Cruz. Past her own blockers there and now struggling with Arizona blockers. Sassy Mean is past Santa Cruz's defenses in a scoring position, forcing that call out from Santa Cruz.
Looks like the Santa Cruz jammer was able to pick up 2 points on that last jam. That brings Santa Cruz to 109, Arizona at 62. Just a little over 5 minutes remaining in this second half.
Looks like we have an official review being called by Santa Cruz. So our officials are going to discuss the goings-on of the previous jam. Got one more bout tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and all of our friends who are here to watch the tournament today. We do have one more bout, and that's going to be the Arizona A team versus the Santa Cruz A team. That's coming up in just a little while. And then after that, make sure you come on down to the Angels Trumpet Ale House, our official after-party venue for AZRD bouts. So we hope to see you there tonight. They're located on 44th Street, just 10 minutes north of Ability 360, which is where we are now. So make sure you come hang out, grab some drinks with us, enjoy 10% off their huge beer selection. And we hope to see you there tonight.
Scary Bee Jesus just shared with us that that official review was the white team looking for a cut call on the black jammer on turn 2. No call will stand, so white team does lose their official review.
Helga Hufflepunk on the line for Arizona, and as I say that, Helga Hufflepunk able to make it out and achieve that lead jammer status for Arizona. Flower Power jamming for Santa Cruz, and so far being held by the Arizona defense. Helga Hufflepunk coming in on a scoring pass and being taken back by Santa Cruz. Flower Power is now out in a scoring position as well. Helga Hufflepunk now struggling with only 2 blockers remaining in the front and forced to call off that jam rather than surrender any points to the Santa Cruz jammer, Flower Power. 3-point jam for Arizona, 0 points for Santa Cruz. With 5 minutes remaining, Arizona at 65 points, Santa Cruz at 109.
Bad Sheila makes a quick step through the pack for your lead jammer status.
Frida not far behind, really putting the pressure on, looking to get a couple of points there, causing the call off. Looks like we did have 4 points picked up by Santa Cruz, no points for Arizona in that jam.
Score now, Arizona 65, Santa Cruz 113.
Both jammers making speedy exits from the pack there. We're going to go ahead and call that jam off. Probably the shortest jam we've seen in this game. No points scored for either side there, of course. Both teams setting up far in the front of the blocker box, allowing some momentum for each of these jammers. Got Sassy Mean for Arizona and Knox for Santa Cruz. Knox making it out lead jam. Oh, I take that back. Knox picking up a penalty and being sent to the penalty box. Sassy Mean removing the star cover, making her way through the Santa Cruz blockers, but being held back quite effectively so far. Some offense being played by Arizona, trying to spring their jammer loose. So far in this power jam for Arizona, we're not seeing a lot of movement forward. And Knox for Santa Cruz coming back onto the track now, running straight into a strong Arizona defensive wall. Both jammers now just pushing and pushing, trying to find an opening in the respective defensive walls. Really not finding a lot of purchase so far. Sassy Mean sent to the back of the pack. Knox still struggling with those blockers, takes a spill. Got some bridging happening here with the defensive walls far away from each other. And Knox making it out, coming around for a scoring pass. We do have a star pass. Captain Jack picking up the star for Arizona. Knox reading those holes that her offensive players were creating for her, making it through on a scoring pass. Four points for Santa Cruz in that jam, 1 point for Arizona. Got just about 1 minute remaining, so this may be our final jam of this game. We will see. Currently Arizona at 66, Santa Cruz at 117. Helga Hufflepunk jamming for Arizona and Flower Power for Santa Cruz. Helga Hufflepunk making it by to pick up that lead jammer status for Arizona. Flower Power removing the star cover, making it through the pack, returning that star cover. Helga Hufflepunk able to make a successful scoring pass before calling that jam off. Got about 7 seconds remaining in game time.
Arizona calls a timeout. Looks like that'll give us an opportunity for one more jam in this game.
Arizona now with 70 points. Santa Cruz still at 117 points. Getting set up with an Arizona wall in the back of the blocker box, and Santa Cruz squashing down to also create their wall in the back. Frida jamming for Arizona, Bad Sheila for Santa Cruz. Frida pushing to the front of the pack, unfortunately being taken out into the infield. Bad Sheila also being taken out, but now making it through and achieving that lead jammer status. Bad Sheila, your lead jammer for Santa Cruz. Frida also making it through the pack, getting into scoring position. And Bad Sheila saying, you know what, we're good. We'll call that jam off. So it looks like this might be the way we wrap up our game. Our unofficial score is 70 for the Arizona B team and 117 for the Santa Cruz B team. Come on down to high five your favorite skaters. Everybody put up a really great fight during that game. We've got one more game tonight. Arizona A team versus the Santa Cruz A team. So we will see who will emerge victorious in this next and final game of the evening. Tonight being our first day of the first ever Cactus Cup tournament. And the official final score remains at 70 Arizona, 117 Santa Cruz. Great job, everybody. I'm Becca Recker. Thanks for coming down today. See you again tomorrow.